Hey, good evening, everybody. It's your man Pete Stock, and this is Address the Culture Special Edition. We have a special Address the Culture. It's a part of the Legacy 9 wrap up show, The Healers. You know, the one that during the whole event leading up to the Legacy 9, we spoke with the Healers. Uh, we've had Palaka Namaho on. We've had Tony Passion on before, and there's others, and they're back to talk about the Legacy 9 event, which the Healers was put out in the forefront of the whole event. They was made a feature, as you can say, to the event, and it went over big time, which is great with all the martial arts, and it should be that way going forward. The Healers can carry their own events, I believe, with everything that they do, and that's a big thing that's going on within the FMA and the martial arts society and world, as well as we're here to talk about it on Address the Culture. And I'm your man, P Stock. Big shout out to Big Wall, and the crew, and Darren T-Bone, everybody in the house. But tonight, we're talking with the Healers, and we have Palaka Namaho in the house. Hey, Palaka.
Hey, how you doing, man? Aloha, P Stock.
This show is overdue. This is overdue. Getting you back on and having you in here, having you in the house to go over the healing segment of the martial arts world. A lot of people, and beyond the martial arts world, it's beyond that with the healing that you do.
Right.
And so that's with Address the Culture. We was used to the FMA, and it was introduced to us, and we introduced it to our viewers through the FMA. So the healing is part, but the healing is its own entity, its own thing. It's its own arm within society.
Right.
Talk to the viewers about it a little bit. Let's go.
And I mean, looking at what's happening now in the world, not only physically, mentally, spiritually, everybody's looking for help. Everybody wants to know what's going on. And you can basically, find, these healers, these people that are around. Doesn't matter if it's your chiropractor, people that do that work on you, do massages. You just need to find the right person that will be right for you. Um, the the clients that my daughter and I work on, these are people that mostly are athletes, but we do work on people that do work like in secretaries or cheerleaders or anybody that does anything that in your life that you need help with that. That's what we offer. That's the kind of stuff that we do. I mean, it's just the things that we can get things on your body and let you know how things are going. So we have stuff like this that I'm showing to you on a video, kind of like this. And so this is what we work on, people.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like this.
There we go. There we go.
So this is the kind of stuff that we work on, with. And that's what we want to do, spread a little aloha to all those that need our help.
Wow, that's big. That's big. We have do we have a video? Let me see.
One area for how many months, years, whatever. So that's why part of it too is reading the body. So try it on yourself. We're gonna work on the outside.
That experience and stuff like that. So this is the kind of stuff. And we have different type of healers. We do the physical and the spiritual part of what we do, my daughter and I. And you can see that's my daughter. She's explaining to one of the people that wanted to learn how to do this. She came, Cindy, and so she came in to learn what we have to offer to people. So that's what we do, and it's been a blessing for us to share our experience with other people and other cultures. And you know, we love also teaching and learning as well. So you know, it's always a back and forth about different cultures and how they do things, and how they grew up, and just stuff like that. So this is what we want to share with people.
Mm, mm. And that's big. And I remember on another show that you came through and you talked about that.
Yeah,
The process of it. Of the body massage, and the way you work the blood through the body, more or
yeah,
less. It's the working of the blood through the body, and that's big.
yeah. Because basically, you know, back in the ancient days, back when
Hmm.
our ancestors was around, it had to
Hmm.
come from somewhere. So through dancing, through meditation, through sweating or working out, there's always been a healer that was always around that could put
Hmm.
you back together. Or if you're warriors, or anything that you were doing to
Hmm.
get oneself to do the work, or to live long, to help out your family and those that you love. So
Hmm.
that's what
Hmm.
our aim is to share this aloha, this mana with people, to share our culture, and hopefully that they share their culture with us as well. So we learn
Hmm.
off of each other, which is great.
Hmm. And that's huge, and that's what we are saying. It's dope that you are doing that to show the world and to show people this way, and to reach out, and to help, because you do take clients that are other than athletes, or professional martial arts. And anyone can seek it, to seek your healing medicine.
Right.
Correct.
I mean, yeah. I mean, in the martial art world, as we as martial artists, we know how to hurt people, but we also got to learn how to heal people as well. So doing that, just I've been in the martial art for a very long time. I have studied what I need to study with my teachers and my family, and there's a lot that you can learn. So you know doing the as self defense or this and that, there is strikes and things that you hit, and you can destroy somebody, but you also have to learn how to heal somebody as well.
Hmm.
I mean, it
Hmm.
wasn't to show off or to do this and that. It wasn't to be a person that can kick your butt or be a bully. That's not what martial art is all about. It's about helping others, um, being as humble as you can. Um, you know, this is what we were taught back in the old school in the days. So my daughters all went through the training with me in their martial art. So when we go around, we don't waste about ourselves. We just do what we're asked to do. We help others. We do we're humble. We're good natured people. We don't try to be a bully, or we don't be a bully at all. Not try,
Hmm.
but we don't be a bully, and we just try to um, learn and teach and share the knowledge with others. And this is what as you get older into the martial art, you go from being a tiger to being a dragon. The dragon, yeah, is according to legends of the martial art, it's the oldest, serpent around, but yet it is also the wisest. The tiger is very
Hmm.
young and very aggressive and very strong. So youth is on their side. But for a dragon, that's more wisdom and more knowledge, where you can teach the young tiger what to do and how to do it, but yet still be in that humble state, and to help people, and to be courteous and kind, and be very respectful of anybody and everything, no matter where you are in this world. You got to have respect for their land, for their country, for their people, that's what is missing here. It's about the total respect and the humbleness and the love that you can share, or the aloha, as we call it, with all other cultures and people that are um, from this nation and also the world. So,
Mhm.
that's all part of the healing. It's not, you just don't want to say bad things. You want to think about what you're saying. You want to just say good things, so it makes everybody, more happy and stuff like that. So
Mhm. Mhm.
again, that's what we try to do. So,
That's huge again, and I think I reached out to you a few weeks ago regarding. I've done a show with Tom and who was that? Tom and Marcia from Healthy Referral Newspaper.
oh,
And I think that would be something to fit. And I told them about you, and they are interested
oh,
in talking to you
oh,
about that.
great.
Now, the Healthy Referral Newspaper has been around for 34 years.
Wow.
Okay, it's still in print. They're out of Cleveland, Ohio, and they have a radio show. They have a podcast, but we definitely want to bring them into the mix. And I'm gonna get your information. You got to give me your contact information. I have your email, so
Yeah,
I'll get it over to Tom, and maybe a phone number, and I can have Tom call you directly
yeah, that
and
was
link up
that was
and talk to them at Healthy Referral Newspaper about what you do, and they'll do an article on it because it's
okay.
great,
That
and
sounds great. And
and
that's
that, and that's a great publication right there as well.
right.
And also at the Legacy 9 event, you had these guys right here. Tell us about this picture right here.
Well,
I see Keelani. I see your daughter down there. She's down in the
okay,
corner, in the far
so
corner.
we had one healer, which was
Hmm.
Jenna, and she is from Northern California, and she does more of a modern type twist of her healing. She
Hmm.
uses this machine called the Burma. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The Burmi, or however, this machine. And what it does is they they put they attach it to your body, and it helps move the blood and circulates there when you're, after your workout or before you work out. And
Hmm.
brought a machine, and she set it up where you can actually just lay on like a recliner type of chair, and you sit there, and then she works on you and she puts it on. And for me, she did my legs, and it did work. I mean, I felt the difference between
Wow.
one side, and she didn't put it on the other side. She just put it on the leg that I was having trouble with, and
Hmm.
you can actually feel the difference. Matter of fact, even Tony and my daughter Kilani actually got on that as well. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, and then we have another lady called uh, Rita, and
Hmm.
Rita Joyce, and she does masseuse, but she's out of Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia,
Hmm.
and she's there, and she's also a martial artist. She's
Hmm.
actually one of the she's a 10th degree black belt under Cedro Muhammad Sanders, um, and so
See
he
Joe Steve. Yeah.
teaches his style of martial art, and she's one of the top women in his organization. As a matter of fact, one of the top in this nation and what she does.
Hmm.
So she's not only a martial artist, she's also a healer too. She works on people. A lot of her medicine that she makes or have made that makes for her has hemp in it. She tells you, and she explains what the chemicals or what the natural plants that she uses. I'm sorry, not chemicals, but the natural plant that she uses to make her medicine that she uses for people to get them to relax and have them, so it feels like a good massage, and that all that aches and pain that she works on goes away, and that's what she does. Then of course we have let me see, so that's myself, that's Jenna, um, and then Rita, and now we have Tony. Tony is from Fontana, California, and she does what we call body movement or body sculpturing for movement. So
Mm.
she uses her talent and stuff that she learned as a dancer and puts that into movement for people that cannot move, or they have Parkinson's, or they have any type of things that their muscles can't move. And she will teach and help people to move. And I think we have some video and some pictures of her teaching her some of the students that she
We do.
stuff like that. So, and
Let's go into the video, and then we'll bring Tony right on in
yeah, and then I'll
talk
explain
to her directly.
And then we have my daughter Kilani that works on people, that does the our Hawaiian family and the stuff that we do. So it's called IKEA Wellness. She's also a fitness teacher. She's a fitness instructor, as well as a martial artist, and as well as a healer. So she works on a lot of people. She's very good at what she does. She helps out her clients so much that they come back and have her work on them. Right now, she lives in Dallas, Texas, and that's where she lives. But some of her clients call her and go, "When you're going to come back to California? Because I need you to work on me." So she has a lot of people over here that still wants her to come back and forth from California. I mean, from Texas, from where she lives in Grand Prairie, back to California. And so, and then we have another gentleman. So there's only two guys and 4 women that are healers that were there, and another guy named Lane Wilkinson. He's a traditional Filipino and Polynesian tattoo artist. And the way that he does it is he makes sure that he gets your genealogy, or he looks at your body. You can explain to him, and he will give you the tattoo that he feels and that you feel that you're gonna need for your journey, not only spiritually, but mentally and spiritually, and physically. That some of them, you look at that, it's protection. Some of them is to guide. It's like a guide. It's like a spiritual guide for you to look at the tattoo and stuff like that. So what we call it is the tau in Hawaiian, in Samoan, and so, and he does it the old way with the bone and the tapping on the stick. So he does it tau that way. It all depends. Some people like, when they do it, they use it for a reference that helps them spiritually, like I said, and mentally, and also physically. So, so I wish Lane was here, but before we start, we always have a ceremony before that, and we drink the ava, which we call it ava.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So we call it the kava, and we drink that, and then it helps us to get in that moment where we can share our mana'o with others. And there's a blessing that comes, and there's a blessing after. I don't know if you have that picture of it. But
which one?
There's a big bowl. There's a big bowl, and somebody's making look like mud water.
Oh, hold on. I know what you're talking about. Hold on. I know exactly which picture. 1 second. I got it. Let me go get it. Let's see here.
And if people have never tried kava, there is a place in Las Vegas called the Ninth Island Kava. It is there in Vegas. You can go look it up. It's called the Ninth Island because the people from Hawaii believe that there is 9 islands instead of 8, and Las Vegas is the 9th island for the Hawaii because they like going there. And I'm pretty much sure people can guess why. They like to relax, and they like to do that.
And that's the picture of the bowl right there you was talking about.
Bowl. And I don't know if it's if you can pull it up, but It's a bowl, and and if people want to ask what does it taste like, if you just mix it with water, it will taste like mud water, but it has a taste that will make your tongue numb, and you're going down your throat. But that tells us that it's working, and you'll be relaxed, so your body can. So what it does is the kava or the ava will make your body relax so much that it will take you between like a starlight level, but in that starlight between earth and heaven, where you're in that relaxed station, and so you'll have the best sleep of your life. If you never slept more than 5 hours, it will get you that, and you will actually wake up an hour before you usually get up, but you'll be
refreshed.
You'll be refreshed in that whole time, and it seems like you'll be sleeping forever, but really, it helps your body. I mean, I had clients that were on some kind of medication that the doctor would prescribe for them because they couldn't sleep, and I had like 3 clients that couldn't sleep for the past 10 years, almost a decade. And so when I gave them this, I go, no, this stuff will help you. And they said, man, I never slept more than 4 hours, and they basically slept almost 8 to 10 hours. And they said that's the best rest they had in years. So this stuff, I know that this stuff has worked because that was their testimony telling me how this stuff works. So again, if you go to the ninth island in Las Vegas, it's called the Ninth Island Kava. You can go there, and they will have different type of kava, which you can have tropical, which is with a mango or any type of tropical fruit. They also have all different type of stuff. They have with coconut milk inside. They have with coconut water inside. So it all depends what you're feeling, and you can actually go try that. They even have strawberry, orange, pineapple, mango. So they have different type of tasting of the kava that you can try when you're there in Vegas.
Okay, so everybody just digs in and grabs some, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can go there. They'll bring a bowl to you. They already have it mixed, and your party can just sit there. They have one with big bowls, and then you just pour it in your cup, in your coconut shell, and you just drink it.
Ah, beautiful.
Not unless somebody in your state might have a kava bar that you can go hang out in. So I know there's one in Florida. There's a couple kava bars in Florida. There's a bunch in Utah. There's a bunch in Arizona, Colorado. So again,
I gotta look. There's probably one here. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, you just gotta go look and see if you got a kava bar. So the way that they spell kava is Kava. That's one way. The Hawaiians spell it with ava, so there's a comma on the top, AWA. So the W sounds like a V, but it's like so it's not awa. It's actually kava. It's with a V. Sounds with a V, but it's spelled with a W.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like when people say Tonga, they say it with a T, but it's spelled with a T, but it's pronounced with a D. So it's Tonga, not
Tonga.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. So when you see a Tongan, it's Tonga. It's Tongan. They're from, so it's just so it's a different sound.
Different sound, yeah. Gotcha.
It's spelled with a T or a V. I mean, with a W. When you say
it's a V sound.
Yeah, the V sound. Or the V sound. Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, so
okay. Learn something.
We always learning something. If you don't want to learn anything, then you might as well just be dead, because that's what it is. You cease to exist, and you cease, because if you think you know everything, not everybody knows everything. So so if you don't want to learn anything, then you might as well say you did. I don't want to talk anymore.
That's big.
Yeah, and the thing is, you always learn. It doesn't matter who you learn from. You can learn from a little child, from an older senior, to different youth and stuff like that. There's something that they see that you don't see, and they can tell you, yeah, wow, and that's something that you can learn from them. Everybody always gotta learn. You always gotta keep that mind going, So you gotta keep that stuff going. It's that thing, So my philosophy is never judge the book by its cover. What goes around comes around, and old dogs can learn new tricks.
Yes. Every day. Every day.
That's my thing, man. If you don't want to learn, then you might as well just say you dead already, bro. I mean,
If you can't learn, then you're right. You're right. And that's why we like this. That's why on Address the Culture, we like to bring all this together and extend it to the viewers. So they get a look at it. And who we got now, you was talking about earlier, we have Tony on as well.
Yeah.
So let's bring Tony in. Hey, Tony, there you go. There you go. You got your mic on mute.
There we go. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening. So, yeah, it was great. So, so the Vegas, how was that experience with you when you was there? I mean, how was that experience for you? That was your first Legacy event?
The one in Vegas was actually my second.
Okay.
So yeah, and it was good in that I got to experience more of the operation side of things and the organizing to help make the event happen and those sorts of things, which is kind of like a tradition and a science to it, right? So
right.
Yeah. So in the process of doing that, you learn a lot too, and it was good. It was great to be around. It was great to see another segment there being the healing. And I mean, it's just things that already exist, the crossovers with martial arts and healing and dance and breath work, meditation, body work. It already exists. So it's nice to acknowledge that and then just get to be in conversation about other ways on how we can keep connected through our practices and through our culture, and also taking care of the body at the same time.
That's big. That's big, and that's what they did. That's something big that was brought to the Legacy, and I think should be a part of it. And like I said, the healing aspect of it could probably carry its own convention, as well, just because the people are so in tune. Getting in tune with their bodies more and want to know how to heal themselves and learn from people. Like I went to college in Philadelphia. Okay. So in Philadelphia, I learned something. In Philadelphia, they have, you got medical schools for doctors, right? Traditional medicine. Then they have the medical schools, a lot of them in Philadelphia, for the doctors that practice natural medicines, unconventional medicines. Tons of them. I forget what it's not like. You got MD and there's something else. They're not MD, it's something else, but it's a doctor. It's a doctorate. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about exactly. I can't think of the name of what they are. The thing, but they're professional doctors. If you can prefer to go see an MD, or you can go see one of the doctors of natural medicine up there, and there's a whole lot of clinics, and I think that's along the line of what you of everything that y'all do and y'all bring to the table to the culture and the martial arts side. Because like Palaka said, he said that several times. He says if you break something, you got to be able to fix it. If you break someone, got to be able to fix it. What you say, it could be an oops moment. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let me fix that for you. Yeah. But you got to be able to do it. But that's interesting. And you have a video, a few videos too. Let's tap into the one video here. Let's see, get us all in here. There we go. I like this feature. We got all of us in there trying something new. So we can run and we can stop it and play. So let's let it play. You can narrate as we go on.
Yeah. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me here? Yeah. So this here is the these young dancers over here. Also, some of them are doing crossover with dance and anthropology or political science. So these are some young leaders that are coming up right now But this is where we focus on dance as storytelling and also the martial arts within the dance in a contemporary way. So, as you can see here with some of the footwork, these are all Filipino dance movements. This is a rehearsal, right? So this is definitely being cleaned up, but this is raw. Yes, there we go. So, yeah. What the students are also learning is how to time their breathing with the movement phrases, but with also the traditional movements of the Philippines. The music that we're using is by a Filipino-American DJ named Gingy. So we're also highlighting narratives of the diaspora, what brings Filipinos over from the Philippines over to the States. And you'll have stories about migration, displacement, ancestral remembrance. This is what we're working on here. So yes, the martial arts within the dances. So this goes into our ancestral remembering, going with the timing as well as the breath work, and also telling the story. Like this story is actually based on the Filipino goddess Mayari, Filipino goddess of the moon, and the story of the moon and the sun. So that's what this version here is talking about in a contemporary way. There's some creative elements here too, because I also wanted to highlight within dance, I also want to highlight a space of innovation. I want there to also be room to be able to ask, does this apply here or something like that? You know, I want people to be able to innovate and to see what are some other possibilities other than what we already see. So that's a little bit in a nutshell about that choreography.
That's big. Whoops.
I do have a contemporary style that is very much rooted in the teachings of my teachers.
That's what
from very long
is that what this video is right here?
Yeah. So this is a performance from yesterday. Studio.
Yesterday. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is with a group of dancers in Riverside that I've been working with for some of them range between a few months to a year. This also, we work on our breath work at the same time as our movement phrases, as well as the storytelling. And with these movements, because it's contemporized, there's Hula inspiration as well as Tahitian. Yeah. So that's just a bit about that video here and the storytelling of it. But the thing with the dance is that with a lot of cultures, indigenous cultures, when people from outside of the indigenous lands came in, they banned the native people from practicing their martial arts. So the martial arts was embedded within the dance. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a little bit about that. But that's one of the things that we highlight with the dance too is that the old dances that we do and the traditional dances that we do inspire us really into what are the messages of those dances, you know, what was hidden back then that was put into the dance so that we many generations later could understand what was happening. So so that's a lot of the work that we do with the dance and with choreography.
That's big. So all of that goes together because I know the luau too. and talking with Michelle Mano before, the Lua is a form of martial arts. It's a forbidden form of martial arts, correct? That it was forbidden for them to display it in public.
Well, that stuff was forbidden because of the colonials that came to Hawaii because they didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
They never understood. It's like what Tony was saying in other cultures, in all our cultures, as the people of that land, you know, because to me, when they came over and they changed it, they changed everything. We couldn't talk. Like I remember when I was talking Hawaiian when I was younger, the teachers would grab a bar of soap and stick it in our mouth.
Mm.
Can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And these are people back then. You know, a lot of us was told that we couldn't. So there are people like Hawaiians that cannot. They don't know about their culture. They're
Mm-hmm.
learning it now, but when they were young,
They didn't know.
yeah, I was watching a video. They said we never had food like this. The food that I remember growing up on was like McDonald's and Burger King and Kentucky Fried Chicken because they didn't know how to cook. They didn't know how to fish. They didn't know how to do any of this stuff. But now their kids are learning this, and it's good. But but the kids' parents they didn't. You know. So for me, when they come and they take away that, you're not only taking away their culture, you're taking away dancing and you're taking away languages and medicine that they and stuff like this. And so when they came over, not when we as you and me and Tony, when we grew up, we never had that. We had to go like search it out and learn it and like that. I mean, I kind of knew a little bit of it, but I didn't know the whole extent of it. And, like, you didn't know about certain things. Only now you're finding out. It's the same thing with guys our age. We're like, we're like, what? And they're like, yeah, this is what we used to do. So Michelle, she said there was a kind of like a people that and these are all women that fought back then in the day. And actually, my great auntie actually showed me the armor that they were using. That was actually made out of shark skin, but a certain type of shark skin, the way they made it. But they only traveled through these the backwoods, not out in public. They did everything kind of like a ninja. They would do stuff like that, but these are women. Yeah, so the dance were forbidden because they just couldn't understand, culturally how that, how it was because it was,
it has happened with a lot. What you talked about with how they took the language away and everything else. That's the playbook. That's the playbook. It's happened to everybody. The Native Americans, the original Native Americans, and the Africans, that came after and before, and everything else. So and everything else because there was always, I believe, before the Europeans arrived in the Americas. There was plenty of Asians that came over into the Americas before. The Europeans. So the cultures, it's shown in the architecture. You can see it in the architecture and stories and histories and everything else into that thing. But the playbook's the same as far as the breaking down of the cultures.
Yeah, that's why I'm so grateful for having Tony because she expresses that about the culture and about what our people really, people of color and this and that we really need to share the true meanings of what it was, stuff that was taken away from each culture that we inherit people and stuff like that. So, Tony to bring that back in, that's amazing.
To bring it back in. And how's that going, Tony? Are a lot of people open and more receptive to the dance and bringing that part of the culture back in?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, there is. I'm very busy with what I do, so
Okay.
which is a great thing, and also um, something that we've developed is movement for everybody, which is movement that people can do seated, um, whether they want to stand or whether they'd like to sit. But with this movement for everybody, which is inspired by hula, Filipino dance, and Filipino martial arts,
Mm-hmm.
and breath work as well, which is a big part of the movement, because it's the mindfulness of it. There's so much that we take in a lot. Maybe the thoughts keep running, and that goes into our bodies as well, and just kind of stays there. So the mindfulness and the breathing does really help in helping us to get into the small muscles, the small bones within the body with our movement. And just those elements of what we do with dance and choreography of repetition, which is good for the cognition, working the other side of the brain, those sorts of things. So that's some of the things that we also work with the body, is the repetition, the breath work, the mindfulness, and also movements with the arms and the hands. So for example, what I do in some of these sessions with movement for everybody is different kinds of waves, two different kinds of waves here that I'll do. And one is figure eight. One is a figure eight here, which is a kind of wave. And then the other one is this wave. It's a Nalu wave. So this is the first wave that I learned from my very first hula teacher. Okay, and this is the older generation wave. So with that, then we'll reverse the direction. We'll maybe slow it down as well. Okay, which for some people is also really a challenge to articulate. Okay, without us even realizing it until we had the opportunity to do it. And then we'll go into the other wave here, and maybe we'll do about 10. Okay, so we're working all the muscles in the hands, and those sorts of things. So in a practical sense, this is also something that we're doing. We are breaking the dance down into some of the very basic movements and focusing on that, slowing it down, and incorporating our breath work so that it's a meditation. And that's a program that is also spreading. So that's something that we're doing. Yeah.
That's huge, and that's all huge. And Palak, of course, I know you knew about this already too. You know, from
But it's always open to all cultures, man.
mm-hmm.
No matter who you are, where you come from, it's open to all cultures, and it's just what Tony does. I mean, using the hand, it's the same thing that the Hawaiians did. The same thing, there's an art that my uncle, Uncle Tino Tula Wasenga,
Mm-hmm.
he brought into the picture it's called Himalama, and it's the wisdom of hand. So it's basically using the same motion that Tony uses in the hand. So basically, you're like, you know. So for example, there would be one that if you were brushing your hair going back like this. Well, I don't have any hair, so I'm gonna show you. So if you take your hand and somebody's trying to punch at you or strike at you, you take your hand and you're like this, and it's already a natural cause because you're just going like this with your head, like this. And it's the same thing if you were swimming, and so if somebody was coming in after you, trying to do a bear hug, you would swim inside and then keep going on the outside, and you come around and you trap the guy's hand. But you just see that. I don't know. My talking will actually help you show it, but yeah, it's just different. It's just because we were in the middle of the Pacific, so we didn't have any metal or anything. Everything was our weapons were made out of the animals, which are the sea, which was the stingray, the tail of the stingray, the the crab, and stuff like that. So we had to use what we had that was there.
Access to, the environmental to create weapons.
Exactly, but not only weapons, a lot of other stuff like
Tools.
like tools and boards and stuff like this. Like all our culture all came the same to actually heat up stuff. We would bake fire, throw the rocks inside there that could handle the heat, and then you could cook stuff on or cook stuff with. That was our hibachi. That was our
the hot rocks. They're doing that now. There's a place here they cook steaks on the rocks. So yeah.
That was our barbecue. Hey, you want to eat? Yeah, let's go get some rocks. We'll burn it and heat it up.
Yeah, I think the thing with that too is there's multiple uses for the things that we use. You know, the materials that we use, there's multiple uses. So say, for example, with the rocks, yes, you could be cooking with them because they store a lot of heat. And also, I mean, we have hot stone therapy as well.
Yes.
And also rocks are used as weapons. So, you know, there you go with the healing in the martial arts and also feeding ourselves, right? So with different materials, I think what our ancestors knew how to do very well was how to use the same material for many different things. Exactly. And and so that's just carrying on from that. What else can we use in multiple ways? Well, martial arts, dance, healing, lomi, you know, just different avenues while all using the same body, right? So it's carrying on that same way of thinking, the resourcefulness.
No waste. They didn't waste things. You know, our parents and grandparents didn't waste like we may waste today. You know, and that's a big thing with it. You know, but yeah.
And it's sad that the younger generation, or some of them, you know, they didn't get to learn this stuff. You know, so
it's
now
not too late.
Now they're learning this stuff, which is great. You know? But
a whole generation would skip, but it's great that the newer generation is coming in and learning. You know, about it.
Generation that just skipped, all they know how to do is, we can go to McDonald's. You guys want to go to McDonald's?
Fast food generation, right?
Yeah, that's their generation. And now here their kids are teaching them, this is how our ancestors did it, you know?
That's true.
And that's true. And even the medicine, like the plants that they're figuring out now, like, I didn't know this plant can do that. Oh yeah, this plant can help. And that's why I said, you know, the younger generation should be talking to their grandpas and their grandma.
Exactly.
It might be boring, but you're gonna learn a lot just by listening to them.
Yeah, and they don't understand it usually till after the fact, until they're gone.
Exactly.
And they refer. So you need to talk to your grandparents about the family history, especially for medical reasons, so you know what type of conditions that carried down to the family, or what have you. So that was a big thing today. But like you just said, with the younger generations, and especially COVID might have done more for this than anything, because now the younger generations are more conscientious about what's going into their body.
Exactly.
So now they are more conscientious of the natural remedies. Right. You know, anything wrong with your body. And I think you talked about it and before in another episode, but I think whatever you put in your body, the food, Sultan Nuddin, Grandmaster Sultan always talks about it too. The food. You can heal yourself pretty much with the food too, with certain conditions, you know, that we are privileged, because a lot of the diets that we have amongst people, especially the African American and everything else, like with the what would you want to say, the pork, for example, like the items, the hog maws, the chitterling, the tails, the that's because that's all they had left to eat. They would give them to eat, so they made do with what they had to survive, you know, at that time. And everything was with greens and watermelon. If you're down south, you're eating watermelon. Watermelon's one of the best fruits for you. It's one of the best things for you on the planet. So those things is what got them through and carried them through. And I think all cultures have that part of it when transitioning to the United States, giving up part of the Philippine culture, the diet coming to the United States. You don't see a lot of like in places in the United States, and Pelagia and Tony, I've probably been to a lot of places too. I've been to places where it's lack of culture. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's nobody else there. You're only there, I guess, the American culture or that group of the American culture, which is the American culture is just what? A hodgepodge of all other cultures, right?
Yeah, that's what they are. I mean,
That's what the American culture is when you look at it. You know, I mean, they don't have no own culture.
when you get right down to it, yeah, that's basically what it is.
You don't have it now. I like to. I want to take this time since I have you both on here too, and your opinions or value on address the culture as well as going out for the community and to our viewers. The state of things right now in the country, like with the pandemic, with the train crash in Ohio, that's only 70 miles from me. I'm within the 70-mile radius of that stuff. So and stuff like that. And I talked to Master Jerry Parciato that worked for the railroads and retired, said they laid off over 1 million people. So we can expect more. Like when that incident happened, more happened. But from both of you, I want to hear for the culture, well, what's your take on society today in a whole? What do you think? Both, the mental, physical aspects of what's going on across America. I'm gonna start with you, Tony. What do you have to say?
Sure. Well, I speak from an experiential, standpoint, because it's real. And I do feel that, when I share my story, I know that it's not only my story, but it's a shared experience. And something that I do notice is, and one of the reasons why I really emphasize breath work in everything that I do is the mental aspect and the mental health with people. I do feel like COVID, of course, had it just brought up a lot of things for people. And one of the things that I will say is a lot of people have gone through, for those who have gone through trauma. Okay. So the way that trauma works is that it comes back maybe 10 years later. So it's really tough to detect things.
You all right, Tony?
Like
Look like you're getting a
PS.
little bit of interference coming in on
Oh,
your line.
can
Oh,
you
there
hear
you
me?
go. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there you go. You froze a little bit. There you go.
Yeah.
You're back.
So what that also looks like is people who undergo PTSD. Okay, which is a lot of people PTSD, or just different things that people go through that maybe they suppress. So what I'm seeing in one side are people who are handling it in different kinds of ways. Some people who don't know how to handle it because there are certain systems already in play that aren't equipped to really get thorough with what people are really needing, which is integrated health, which is the mind, body, spirit perspective. That is not something that we're getting very accessibly. We may be getting it from different kinds of places if we really take the time, whoever is experiencing it, to seek out. But sometimes not everybody has that access or knows how to listen to their body in that kind of way. So you have people who are seeking out help, and then people who are figuring it out for themselves, whether that be in asking questions or talking to more people or not talking to more people. It's just looking so different from so many different perspectives. And that's just the nature of technology and what things are like nowadays, right? Social media.
Evolution.
Yeah. And social media, it's compounding so fast. Information, we can get it from anywhere. But what I notice is really important is because there's infinite information from so many sources. What I feel is really important is coming back inside and listening to our own truth, and also speaking to ourselves and our own bodies and minds and spirits as something to be respected as well. Speaking to ourselves in that way, because a lot of what's coming out is reactionary. We don't know how to hear people thoroughly sometimes, and a lot of people are really lost right now. So I always feel like it comes back to ourselves. And yeah, there's so many different expressions out right now, but always coming back to our deepest voice, our truest voice, and how we speak to ourselves. And hopefully that is a voice of respect to ourselves. How we speak to ourselves, it will translate to others. And I feel like that's what's going to help us navigate into the future and into the present, in a good way.
The mental health part of it, you said, is key. Just like Palaka, what do you think the healing aspect, and how does that attribute to the healing part of the mental health? The state of how should we address that too with society today?
I mean, I totally agree what Tony is saying. It's just it has to come within you to understand, and a lot of that stuff is you got to do your research as well. And men are gonna be men. So the creator of men, like, so if you take stuff like maybe the COVID that's happening, those medicines were created by man, not man. So a lot of the stuff they were using was man-made.
Yes.
And it got people sick.
Yes.
The only way that you can actually follow that spirit is again, it's just like, I believe that there's only 3 chakras, or they can call it chakras, but it's the mana. So you have mana O, which is your mind. You try to make sense of what's going on around you, and you try to make sense of what's going to happen in the present. And my great grandmother used to tell me, look to see what you saw. And I never understood that until 20 years later. What my grandmother was telling me during the time she told me when I was younger, she said, look towards the past to see where you want to be in the future, but take care of it right now. That's what my grandmother would tell me. Look to see what you saw. And so having that mana'o, that when these older generation tell us something, we better perk up and hear and listen to them. Like what Tony was saying, we have to sit there and go by that spirit, that go by the spirit, and then just listen to them. Saying that the Hawaiians would say all the time, and it's not anciently, it's more modern, but they would say imua, and imua means just to go forward, just to move forward, just to do what you need to do and move forward with it. So again, using the mana'o, using your mind to make sense of things, what's happening in the world. Doesn't matter, you just gotta see, and then you go do your research, because there's so much information out there that people will just take it literally, and they don't do the research. So they believe anything that people will say, because that's how the social media is pushing it. And so you have to believe that. It's the news, whatever, people are just taking their words for it. And so, that's just one part of it. And then you got your pu'uvai, which represents your emotion, or the way that you're thinking. That, am I feeling this way because of what? Am I having a panic attack? And am I feeling low about myself? No confidence, no this and that. This is the kind of stuff that you would have to basically, feel that. And when you approach that type of people or anybody like that, you just gotta be porno with them. And porno with them, that's being good. You gotta tell them, like, I'm sorry for whatever I did. Please forgive me for my actions. I love the Lord. I love, just being around you, and I'm very sorry. That's only four things you just gotta remember. You know, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Uh, you know, I love you, and just forgive me for the stuff I did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
People just have to talk more and convey more. It's not being weak. It's like when people that they're being nice to you. Don't take that niceness to be, that they're going to be nice, because they can become on the other side if they need to, but they're going to hold their own. So again, just be nice. Just be nice. Share that aloha. Share that love with them. Just be ono, as we the Hawaiians will say that. Be ho'oponopono, that you will forgive people. It's almost like God and Christ are saying, you know what, just turn the other cheek, man. But sometimes we can't, because we are just human, and
Mm-hmm.
you just gotta do that. So it's really up to you. And the third thing is just the na'au. The na'au is your gut. You gotta trust your gut, and that's where the chi comes from. You can call it ki or chi, but that's where that mana comes from. It comes from the bottom, and it radiates up. So that will be your gut talking to you, telling you, hey, you know what? Don't turn this way, because this is actually the way you're supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when somebody tells you, hey, no, go down this way. Wow, how did he know? He don't know. But listen to your gut, because it's going to be right 100% of the time, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you got your mind that tries to make sense of things. You got your heart that shares your emotion with you, and tells you how you gotta do things. And then you got your compass, or your na'au, which guides you to where you need to be. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just what you got to do. So listen to your body, listen to the truth. Just like Tony was saying, then I think you'll be right. You'll be good. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
you have your friends and this and that, but again, you have to look at what's going on in the world. Climate changing is really doing a lot. I just,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just, I just was telling my wife. I go, climate change is really going to make California, the West Coast, colder. It's going to be wetter. And look what happened this past couple weeks. And I go, the East Coast is going to get hotter.
We're gonna get warmer. Yeah, it's
Right?
getting warmer over here.
Yeah, everything's going to switch. Everything
Yeah.
switch.
Polars. It's like, yep.
Yeah. For how long it's gonna? I go, I don't know. That's what I feel right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything's gonna switch, so we're gonna get more
Mm-hmm.
rain on this side, and those guys are gonna heat up.
Yeah, and it's already starting.
Yeah,
It's
but some
already started. Yeah, mild winter. Uh, not much snow. I think New York City hasn't even had a snowfall this year. That's the first. That's the first. That never happened. So, I
oh
mean, there's a lot of firsts going on this year with these. So,
yeah,
although there's a lot of snowfall going down in the middle of the country,
yeah,
in the middle of the country,
yeah,
in the Midwest, and on the ends, you are going through y'all climate change, and we're going through ours on this
exactly.
coast.
And
You know.
it never rained like this bad in Hawaii ever since
Mm,
December. It's constantly flooding on the Big Island, Oahu, Maui, Kauai. Yeah,
mm.
it's like really bad. Only I was reading like maybe a couple of days that it was sunny, and then you just see such a perfect sunset after all the rain and stuff like that. That's what people are commenting. But
Mm,
yeah, it's a
I
lot.
I didn't know that one. I
Yeah.
didn't know that why he was getting
Oh yeah.
hammered with that much rain.
They comment. So you can just imagine all the people that are homeless in Hawaii that have to live on the beach.
They're washed out. They're
Yeah,
all washed out. That's
they saw.
sad.
Yeah,
That's sad. They're all washed out because they live in tent cities and
yeah,
villages and stuff like that. And that's getting worse and worse. I
yeah.
think the United States has failed the government, the current governments and everything, they failed the people. That they're not about the people. I think they should get rid of pensions. There shouldn't be no elected official anywhere in this country receiving a pension. That's the problem. That's why there's so much debt.
Yeah.
That's why everything else. And you got, what's her name, Marjorie Taylor Greene, talking about raises for the Congress. She's not making enough money. So get out of here. They need to get rid of pensions to elected officials. They need to limit the terms. You know, they need to have a statewide universal rent freeze or mandate or something like that. They need that, rent control.
Exactly. The thing is, it's the same. You got all these developers want to go to Hawaii, and they want to take land, they want to buy it, and then they want to develop. I go, dude, just go downtown, go buy up stuff over there, and just retro and re-retro and refix those buildings that people are not even living in. You know?
Yeah.
So that's all over the country. Go places, man. Retro stuff and put people in there, man. I mean, come on.
They are doing that, but they're making places. I've seen a place they just renovated down by the waterfront here, and I seen it this morning. They made townhomes, okay? Townhomes. You don't have no yard, for real, okay? And these townhomes, $1.4 million.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of here. To have rats because you live next to the water.
That's men. That's men's.
That's man. Yeah.
That's man.
That's man.
That's man. The natural man will always be an enemy to God. But you know what? If they could just do something kind with their heart and just build it and give a little decent people, like people that are struggling, hey, you know what? Yeah, we built this stuff. This is how much you would pay a month, man.
Yeah, the law's love. You know, I mean, you got Wall Street buying up property now so they can rent it out. That's the new making money. They're gonna be taxing people where people can't afford to live in the houses. So who's gonna live in it? There's gonna be squatting all over the place. It's gonna become range wars in different counties and stuff. It's gonna be crazy.
I don't know, but you ever remember that movie, The Running Man, with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
We're headed to that.
Yep.
We're headed to that. I tell people that all the time. We're headed to that. We are headed to that. We are headed to that. Hey, I do have something before I let you just get out of here. Hey, Palaka, I found this video right here. I want to talk about this right here. You talked about it a little bit, but let's talk about this.
What are you asking, Peace?
No, this is what you was talking about earlier. The tats that he was giving you, according to your spirit and the vibe he was picking up off of you, correct?
Yeah, so the tattoo that he was giving to Kehlani was representing, but Tony knows Lane longer than I have, and Tony had stuff done to her, and maybe she can help explain what Lane does.
Okay, Tony.
Yeah. Well, Lane is Mamba Batok, which is the word, the role of hand tap tattooing in the Philippines. And the way that he does it is very ceremonial, in that you'll have a conversation and let him know where you're feeling a particular design, or if there's anything specific that you are just feeling first. It has to come from the feeling first, rather than, oh, I think I want this, like a tattoo shop. It's not like that. It's where do you feel that it should be? And that's a big thing, because that's, the placement in the body, it also has a message to it. Like, for example, the right side will be the right side is dedicated to the paternal side, the left side is dedicated to the maternal side, and then the center is your inner child. So the placement on the body is very specific and particular, and Lane is very attuned and connected to that. He'll listen to what you're feeling, where it should be, and also listen to the space, the surroundings, and also he's very in touch with his ancestors as well. And so the process of it is that you create an atang, or an offering, to the ancestors. There's a chant that's done before the entire ceremony, because it's ultimately a ceremony. And you set your intentions, and then you go from there. And he does it in a way that he's learned from a teacher in Samoa and also in Hawaii, Keone Nunes. And I know this is a bit about his story, but I've gotten some work done from Lane as well, and this is all of what was part of the experience. Because when Lane does batok on me, on anyone, there's also an imprint of his ancestors that are on our skin as well. So it's all in respect to the ancestors that are on our skin. So yeah.
That's pretty deep, because it's become a tattoo culture today. So you see everybody with tats, everybody's tatted up. Even my grandson, he's talking about our grandson. Somebody hit me and was talking about, hey, we seen a video, a picture of your grandson at the Super Bowl. He had a P on the side of behind his ear, but now he didn't. It wasn't there. I'm like, man, it was airbrush. I looked at the picture. He sent me the picture. I looked at the picture. I said, that's airbrush. You can't tell they airbrushed the tattoo off his ear. I don't even know what tattoos he has. So I don't know, we're looking at somebody, but for it to be sacred, where I would say it would have to be sacred because they're permanent once they go on your body like that.
Sometimes it's not even your choice. Sometimes he will really just go off of the flow and what he's hearing. And like, for example, there was one session that we had where initially he's drawing it out on my skin first, the marks that he's going to do. And I just got dizzy all of a sudden. I was perfectly fine. I'd ate before, everything, but I got dizzy, and then I had to stop for a moment and take a little breath. And so I sat down, and then shortly after he said, oh, that the design is not, that design is not supposed to be that. So there, we went into altering the design. That's how our ancestors come through. It's through us. And I was perfect. I was perfectly healthy, so to just get dizzy all of a sudden, those are things that we listen to, in the process. So sometimes it's the design comes through Lane or whoever is doing your batok. It comes through them, not necessarily what we want, but just what is meant to be.
Oh, okay. So, and it's tapped, and he taps it on, and that's the incredible part of it too.
It's tapped on.
It's tapped on.
Yeah, in the old way too. Old materials.
And he learned that from Samoa, how to use the shark teeth to get his needles. But from what I hear from my cousin, Seton, he told me that Lane makes his own. The only problem that he can't go out publicly because the health department asked Lane.
Oh yeah.
Because it has to be a machine, but he doesn't like to do that. So he does have a health thing that he has to go through.
It's private. It's got to be private. Yeah. Because the health and thing. It's funny because I was in the Navy. I've been all around the world and everywhere else, and I don't have a tattoo. I don't have a tattoo. you know, and because a lot of places we go, they scare me the right way. Don't pull in Hong Kong, everybody got tattoos. Don't get tattoos, you get hepatitis. Okay, you don't got to tell me twice. Okay, I don't know, you know. So my luck, I'll have hepatitis. So I just never dabbled. I never
But
got
to
those.
me, the way Lane does his thing, that's more personal. That's
Hmm.
more culture.
Yeah, yeah, it's cultural.
That is, if I were to get one, I
Hmm.
would do it that way. I would,
Yeah, yeah. That's the same as what you see down in New Zealand and everywhere else. They get the. I mean, you see that type of tattooing
yeah,
around the world, globally, especially in South America, Central South America, Africa. You know, and the islands, Asia. It's everywhere. So that's something that, like you said, the ancestrals and Palaka, that's been around for a long time.
yeah.
I think.
It's been around for years. It's the same thing. When I work on people, I listen. I have to listen because
Mhm.
you know the name that was given to me by my great grandmother was Ho'olaulea. So I thought that, but Ho'olaulea means uh, a festival of things that are happening in
Mhm.
our culture. So I thought that they meant an A at the end, which is Ho'olaulea, but actually it was an E that I wrote down, and he was so the ancestor that was coming through to me was saying, "Yeah, it's Ho'olaulea," and then I thought it was Ho'olaulea with an A, but it was an E, and and so I put an E down, and my cousin told me, "You know what that means, right?" I don't know. He goes, "The reason why that person came through and gave you to reunite you with that name was because Ho'olaulea with the E instead of an A, it's pronounced the same way, but with the E at the end, it means that you are a healer of joy. You like to
Mhm.
do what you're doing. You enjoy doing this and helping people. That's who you are."
Mhm.
And so that's why that name came through. So,
Wow,
uh, okay,
that's
cool.
dope. You know,
So
and a lot of people don't have that kind of culture. You
yeah,
know,
so
so
that's the same thing that Lane when he does his tattooing. Yeah, that he has that type. There's certain people that can get. There's many people throughout the world that can get that type of you know vision
vision.
from the other side of the veil. So
Hmm.
yeah. So do you believe in that? Heck yeah,
Hmm.
because you know, and other people will tell you that. Like some people, like I don't believe in that. Well, that's you.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's you.
Hmm.
Okay.
People without culture, people, you know, that haven't they're detached from their ancestors. You
Yeah,
know, and there's so many like that. You
yeah.
know, so
There are a
that
lot. Yeah,
that they're just completely detached.
yeah,
So it's like that's who I call zombies. They're just completely detached. But you know, that's another show. We'll
yeah. It is.
get up, we'll get that done because we're going to have you back on. The healing is such a big part of
Yeah,
everything, and we like to. And like I said, I'm going to link you up with the Healthy Referral newspaper.
okay.
Okay, that I think is big, and he's in, and that's Marcia and Tom, and they do a podcast. If you go to healthyreferral.com, that's their site. But this newspaper been around 34 years, and it's a physical newspaper. They send it out. They got a list, and they send it out. It goes to a lot of medical people. It goes to a lot of professionals, and that's
That would be exciting for us as the healers, like Tony,
yeah,
Lane, Kilani, Jana,
yeah,
myself, and Rita. Man, that would be excellent.
yeah, yeah,
On that podcast or get
yeah.
stuff mentioned. That would be pretty good. That'd be
Yeah,
good.
I'm passing the information. He's gonna be he's waiting to hear from you. So,
Okay.
you know, get in touch with him as soon because I did a show with him and Jeff Rose Botanicals. Okay. I'm working with Jeff Rose Botanicals as well. We're doing a lot of stuff with veterans and eradicating homelessness.
Nice.
But he has a product right here. It's let me go this hand. It's called let me get it in. It's called Copper Plus Plus. Okay,
Yeah.
you can see that. Okay, Copper Plus Plus. And what this is, it's copper infused CBD, all natural. Copper infused CBD. It's the only product like it in the world. It's infused with copper, and it's a balm. This is a balm, and you can see. Well, now you can on this one because I've been using it. But it's like when you get it, you open it up. It's honeycomb. It's all natural, so it's honeycombed in there.
So
So
what does that product do?
this
If,
product is like a pain relief, a tension reliever for muscles and everything like that. So I've been working with him with this. He sent this over to me to take a look at it, and he had some people on that used it. One guy, Norman Tillman, he used it. He has sciatic arthritis in his hips, but he's a golfer. He plays golf. He's a golfer. He's always in Nevada, Las Vegas playing golf, right? So he's on one of the walkers. He used one of them wheel walkers with the brakes. He moves real slow.
yeah.
He drove when he found out about this. He drove from L.A. to Arizona to get some. He used it, and he was doing jumping jacks and running in place and everything else. And less than about 30 minutes after he applied it.
Wow.
You know, so it's the copper infusion. Jared, there's a couple of things. If you go to the iHipHopTV YouTube,
Yeah.
there's a couple of things where he breaks it down about it. And he's like the copper one guy. So that's what this is, copper plus plus. So, and this is his own formula. They've been trying to steal it from him. And Jared's a veteran. You know, Jared is a veteran. And we was talking about PTSD and everything else. Most veterans call it PTS. They don't, it's not a disorder. It's PTS. It's from being put in position in a situation that gives you that stress. So it's not a disorder. It's PTS. That's what they call it. But yeah, he was a Marine. You know, he was in Somalia and everything. So, you know, he's the first boots on the ground in Somalia. So, and he had he suffers PTS, and he developed this for veterans, and he was giving it away. He won awards for this stuff, you know, in Arizona. So it's something else that might, if it interests you or whatever, you know, let me know. I can link you up with Jared as well.
Oh yeah, I want to be linked up to that guy.
Yeah, yeah. So we can talk about that. And he has a caplet that he makes. Now he makes this stuff all himself, you know, with this stuff with the copper and everything else, and it goes out. But it's all on my website where he breaks it down. It's on the YouTube channel where he breaks it down and talks about it. But his website is jeffrosebotanicals.com.
Okay. Cool.
You know, so yeah, this is another guy that's coming in the fold, that's coming on, and Jared's a good guy, you know, Christian guy, and he just want to help people. You know, he's just trying to help people. And this is how, you know, he figures God told him how to help people. He created this. So it's something else. So I like to merge these communities and get everybody going, because something he has may help you help people, you know, along the way, and vice versa. So we like to do that along the way. But definitely for our viewers out there, you definitely want to like, subscribe, and share this show to everybody. You know, smash the like button, leave comments, let us know what you want to hear as well. And Tony and Palaka, let the viewers know all your websites and social medias where they can tap in with you.
Okay. Cool.
Go ahead, Tony. Let them know.
Yes. My website is pasionperformancegroup.com. That's PASION performancegroup.com. And that has a little bit about our story, what we do as a group, based in the Empire. And then my Instagram is Tony, TONI, period, Pasion, PASION, and then the number 8.
Here it is.
Yes.
Here it is. Palaka.
Let me see. It's
You're going for a whole bunch. You got Kilani, you got to give, you got everybody.
yeah, it's KL Wellness. Let me go take a look. I just don't have it off my head.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Take your time.
Yeah. So let's see. I just gotta go to I don't have it off my head right now,
Okay, no worries.
but trying to look for my daughter's thing and can't find her stuff yet. But I don't know, that video that I showed, that the 2:28, 2 minutes and 28, that has our information on it.
Okay.
I just don't have it with me right now.
Okay, no worries, no worries. We can get it over to me, and I'll post it. And I'll make sure it gets posted in the video.
All right.
So that way it can go in the description. But definitely follow and like and subscribe and share. Share Tony's website. Share Palaka's info with your friends and everything, because what they do could impact somebody that you're close to or that you love. So let's reach out and help them. But definitely share, like, and just remember that your culture is who you are, and make sure people respect that. Okay. And this is Address the Culture. I'm your man P Stock, and we have Tony and Palaka on there. Man, y'all have a great night. Thanks for stopping through.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Peace.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.